guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just doing a really natural put together look. Could be in, my foundation routine and how I would do a full face. I wouldn't necessarily wear this look on an everyday basis, but this would definitely be something that if I was going somewhere that day and I didn't want to look like I was wearing tons of makeup, I just wanted to, highlight the features that I have or kind of give definition to my eyes. This is definitely the look that I would do. I hope you guys really like it, and if you want to stay tuned and see how I did this tutorial, then please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to always have your face nicely moisturized. And it's really important that you have your face moisturized, because what's going to happen is if you don't, after you put on, your foundation and your makeup, you're going to get dry patches on your face, and then it's going to look really artificial and really natural, and it's not going to be that airbrush seamless effect that you want. So always moisturize, and you can use creams, you can use oils. I use coconut oil because it's all natural and doesn't have any toxins or parabens, and it keeps my skin really healthy and glowy. So I'll switch between a coconut oil, or sometimes I even use the Burt's Bee day lotion, and that has SPF. So in the summer I usually use that just so that it also protects my skin from the UVA rays and the UVB rays. So after you moisturize your face, you want to do a primer, and primer is going to make sure that your foundation lasts all day long or all night long, and that it doesn't go anywhere or move, and that it just stays put and stays exactly how you want it to stay. So the primer I use is the Benefit POREfessional, and I've done a couple of tutorials using that primer already, so I'll link them down below in case you want to see those tutorials. When you're applying your foundation, there's many different brushes that you can use. So there's the foundation brush, and this one is from Sigma, and it's the F60, and honestly I use this brush interchangeably between the other ones I'm going to show you. So there's also the Flat Kabuki F80 brush from Sigma. You have the e.l.f. powder brush, which I use for a liquid foundation. You could use your fingers. You could even use those little white sponges. You can get them at the dollar store, and then you can also use the Beauty Blender. So there's so many different options for you in terms of what you can use for your foundation. I think the most important thing is for you to try out the different options and pick which one works for you the best. There are days where I feel like using my Beauty Blender, and then there are other days where I want to use, the flat foundation brush. I mostly use the flat foundation brush for days where I want more coverage. This foundation brush is really good for people who might feel like they need to put more product on their face and have it more blend out seamlessly, whereas these brushes here and the Beauty Blender, those are things that you would use to have a more airbrush and lighter coverage, and this will help the product really buff into your skin a lot better. So my favorite brush at the moment is the e.l.f. Powder brush. I love this brush for foundation. It blends in so well, and I'll show you in a second how I put on my foundation. It really just buffs it in really well, so it gives you that really nice natural look. And the foundation that I use is the Maybelline Fit Me, and it's in shade 320. This foundation is amazing. It honestly glides on so seamlessly. It gives you that airbrush look. It's really, really good, and I recommend it to a lot of people. And the great thing about it is you can make it one layer and then make it kind of like a lighter coverage, or you can build upon it, which is really good. And then once you set it, it just kind of goes in and it has this airbrush, very natural look. So what I usually do is, because this foundation doesn't have a pump, which kind of sucks, I like foundations with pumps because they're easier to put out. What I do is I usually just kind of pour it into my brush just a bit, just pick up some product, and then I kind of just start dabbing. So I just zoomed in so you guys could see me a bit better. Yeah, so I'm just going to pick up the product, just pour some on there, and then just start dabbing it across my face before I start blending or anything like that. I'm just going to dab it all over, and I'll just pick up a bit more across my jawline. And then what I usually do is I just start buffing it in. I usually go in circular motions. You want to make sure that you kind of lift up your hair and go all around your jawline, and that you're bringing it down into your neckline. Because what's going to happen is if you just kind of stop here, then it's going to show the two different colors in your neck and your face, and it's going to look unnatural. So you just want to make sure that you're bringing it down and you're really buffing it in. You can lift up, your hair and just get into the hairline and then down the nose. I kind of like to move my faces and make faces so that I'm making sure that I get into the crevice. So like if I'm going around my nose, I'll just kind of go like this and just make sure that I'm getting into all areas. So now I'm going to go into my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm in NW40. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pump some of it onto my ring finger. This stuff is a little, goes a long way. So this tube will last you quite a while. So what I do is I just take a little squirt like that, and I'm just going to place it underneath my eyes, a little bit on my eyelids, and then just put the rest around my nose, and then whatever's left I'll just put around my mouth. And I find that because I'm a little bit of a darker skin tone, I found a lot of my darker pigmentation is like around my mouth and around my nose. So because of that, that's why I bring any leftover concealer there, just to give me like a highlighted look and just a lighter overall complexion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beauty blender, and always remember to use your beauty blender wet. You never want to use it dry. It's meant to be wet. So just soak it under water, for a little, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I actually put it on for maybe, and then I just squeeze it a bunch of times underwater. And then finally, I'll turn off the water and I'll give a really good squeeze. So you just want it to be, wet, but not soaking wet or anything like that, just damp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start using the beauty blender and blend out the concealer. So I start usually with my eyelid, and then I'm going to work my way underneath my under eye, or just on my under eye, work my way down to my nose and then my mouth. So once you're done blending everything out, you want to set your face. So there's 2 different ways I set my face. Sometimes I'll just set my foundation first with a matte powder. I know it's a translucent powder. And then after I do my concealer, I'll go in with the Banana Powder by Ben Nye, and I'll just set my under eye concealer. Today I'm just going to do it all at once, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay De-Slick Mattifying Powder. And as you can see, it's just this translucent powder. I'm going to take it on a fluffy brush, any fluffy brush you want. Just dip it into the product, and then you're just going to kind of pat it all over your face. Now you don't want to do swipes because you don't want to get rid of the product. You just want to pat it on so that you can set the product. It's really important that you set your under eye concealer, because if you don't set it, it may crease and it may start to move. So by setting it, you're taking away, especially with a matte powder, you're taking away the oils and you're helping it to lock into place so that your makeup lasts as long, as you want it to last, whether it's the whole day or the whole night. So when that's done, your canvas for your face is basically complete. Sorry. Now that our canvas is done, I'm going to move on to the contour, and I'm going to go into one of my favorite, bronzer / contour powders, and that's Format by MAC. And I'm going to go in with a small contour F05 brush by Sigma. And what you're going to do is you're just going to suck in your cheeks, and where your cheeks go in, the hollows of your cheek, you're just going to follow your natural contour line and then just go up and kind of blend it out until you're happy with how it looks. You can even take the contour down your jawline to give you an illusion of a higher, neck point and a slimmer neck. And you can even take it down your neck if you wanted to. And you could definitely do your nose too. That's very popular. And for me, nose is something that I do as well. So I'm just going to go in with my F05 brush and begin to contour. What you can do is, if you feel like your contour is too strong, you can always take a fatter blush and then blend it out some more. So kind of the principle that you kind of go by is that if you want a lighter contour and you don't want it to be as defined, you would use a more fluffier brush. And if you want something that was really defined and really concentrated and was really prominent, you would use something like what I use for my nose, which is a much smaller brush. So it really depends on what kind of contour that you want to go for. For every day, I usually start with the F05 brush just to give me the defined look on where I want to go, and then I'll go in with my F30 brush, the large powder brush by Sigma, and I'll kind of just blend everything out so it's not too prominent, but it still gives me a defined feature. Now I'm going to take that same contour and I'm going to put it around my neck, around my jawline, and I'm just going to give the illusion of a slimmer jawline. So I'm just going to take it up around my jawline, into my ear, and then if you have a double chin and you wanted to make that look appear smaller, you could even just go right underneath like this and just get it off, and then you'll get the illusion of a smaller face. Now going into that smaller brush I was talking about, I'm going to pick up the product and I'm going to go and contour my nose. So how you want to contour your nose is I usually start at this point here and blend up. So I just kind of start over here and blend up. You could also go the other way around, it doesn't matter. And you kind of want to follow the natural contour lines of your nose. When you're blending, when you're contouring your nose, one of the things you want to remember is that you can always build up the product, and even when you're contouring your face. So it's easier if you start light and then kind of build up afterwards, rather than, you know, putting a whole bunch of product on your face and then having to work over and over to blend it out. So now we can move on to blush. So I'm going to go into my Estee Lauder Michael Kors blush palette. I really like this palette. It's really nice. It gives you 3 different shades. So these 2 are for blush, and then this one right here is for a highlight. I haven't used the highlight yet, so I actually just used the blush. I'm going to go into my F30 brush again. I actually use this brush all the time for different parts of my face. I really love this brush. I like the way big powder brushes kind of blend everything seamlessly in your face. So I'm going to dip it into the 2 blush colors. I'm just going to smile, and then I'm going to go from halfway of the apples of my cheeks up into my hairline. And here's the tip if you ever feel like you put on too much blush. So I kind of feel like this side has a little too much blush. What you can do is you can go in with your foundation brush and just kind of go over it and blend everything out. And because that kind of still has product on it, it'll help blend out the color. So now we're going to go into highlight, and I absolutely love this highlight product. It is the Sunbeam Cheek Tint from Benefit. It works so well, and it gives you such a natural glow. I think that if you have darker pigmentation, so like me, you know, you have those kind of cooler, warmer tones in your skin, anything goldy or bronzy really works well with your skin color. So a cheek tint like this, I absolutely love, and I have fallen in love with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on the highest points of my cheekbones and kind of just bring the product up. And then I just go in with my finger and I just blend the product. If you have leftover product on your finger, you could bring it down the bridge of your nose, just in between your 2 eyebrows on your forehead. You can bring it on your cupid's bow, and you can even bring it on your chin. I don't add any specific product there because I am going to go in with the MAC Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish. Going in with the E40 Tapered Blending Blush by Sigma, I'm going to dip it into my MAC Soft and Gentle. And the cool thing about this Soft and Gentle is it has kind of a shimmer side and a matte side. I usually use the matte side on every day, and for the shimmer side I usually use that as eyeshadow, just because I don't really like shimmer on my face. I feel like when you're doing your face, the more matte you make it, the more natural it looks, and when you add shimmer, you kind of tell that it's not, you know, natural. So I'm just going to go over where we put the cheek tint. And there we go, face complete. So now before we move on to the eyes, just everyday eyes, I'm just going to moisturize my lips with my EOS lip balm. So right now I'm going in with a Sephora eyeliner brush, and I'm just dipping it into the e.l.f. gel eyeliner. And I'm not going to do anything crazy or funky, I just want to line my eyes. So I just lined my eyes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Voluminous eyeliner, and I'm going to tight line, and I'm going to go on my bottom waterline. Now I'm going to take my Tweezerman eyelash curler, and I got this from Sephora. It just looks like this. And I'm going to curl my eyelashes and then apply mascara. I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara first, and then I'm going to go in with L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. So now what I'm going to go in just to complete the look is, you guessed it, my favorite lip color, my favorite nude lip color, which is Taupe by MAC. And this is my favorite nude. That is my completed makeup look. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave your comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.